Hey y'all, APD Jamie here. Today we're going to work on that piece that I talked about last week or the other day in that book review video that I did. And the title of this piece is Disjointed Whispers. It's a little unusual for me, but yet it's not unusual basically because I'm not necessarily known to use things as they were allegedly purposed to do. And with that said, let's move along. So I have this box from Seven Gypsies, I believe. There is a list of ingredients in the description box below. Click on the word more to see more, even though I may or may not actually have everything listed because I ended up changing my mind about a lot of this, that, and t'others. Like the colors of choice were switched like 15 times. Anyway, so y'all saw I glued on a piece of lace trim, and these are some molds that you may have noticed from the promo thumbnail. Paper clay, air dry clay, or polymer clay, things that I have molded and have setting around, and I went and I pulled out all that stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one, and that's how I made my choices. Truly, it was that hard. I'm like, yeah, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. Let's use this, this, and this, and this, and maybe that. Okay, it wasn't too much in the maybe pile, but some stuff in the maybe pile. So I've let my lace dry, and most of the steps in this is an overnight drying time, okay? Because, you know, as you know, I'm in the South and we can be a bit humid here. So that's what I did, and I really should have waited to adhere this molded face on, but when I first started, I was anxious to get started and excited to get started, not more excited than anxious, and didn't consider my next following steps. So there you have it. I'm going over it with gesso that I have added iridescent medium to. I'm not sure if you guys have ever noticed, I use Liquitex gesso, let me just say that right off the bat, and sometimes it has a slight shimmer to it when the light hits it just right, which I always find interesting and neat. So I added more iridescent medium to the mixture, and I have now painted the whole box. Text message. Why? So anywho, I painted the whole thing with gesso, and again, this may not have dried overnight, but it definitely dried for a few hours. And I'm going over it with some acrylic paint, and I believe this color is Nubby Linen, and I like this color. It's an interesting neutral color. So in theory, from the get-go, my whole idea was that the outside of this open up box was going to be muted and subdued and kind of soft looking, and, you know, somewhat, I don't know, maybe even a little magical. I don't know that it ended up being magical, but anyway, because my initial vision changed throughout the progression of this project, okay? Because I'm like, no, that's not going to work. Yeah, let's try this kind of thing. So all in all, I had like 3.5 hours of recorded video. So a lot of it has been cut out and sped up and left blurry for your viewing pleasure on account of sometimes people forget to turn off autofocus. So I want to add to this face because I'm like, no, I don't really want it that color, but I want some color on it. I don't want it to resemble any specific type of natural skin tone, okay? And that leaves us with trying to make it look like some kind of a rock stone kind of thing. So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? Now I have a couple other faces that I'm going to be using in this project, and one of them for the inside is going to be treated essentially just like this one. Okay? Okay. And the other one will not. And I've also used different sheens of varnish. In this particular case, I'm going over the whole thing with matte medium, and I did 2 to 3 coats of the matte medium. That's my sealer, okay? And I wanted it matte. And as y'all probably saw, and I skipped over, I used a baby wipe to put the paint on, and it was a blue jean. So now I've got this fun golden colored called Oxide, I think it's just called Oxide, and it's a translucent metallic, and it's really neato-peto, y'all. Neato-peto. And it kind of looks black, and then it kind of looks brown, and it's got a red cast to it. And yeah, when I zoom in, I sometimes get off-screen issues, so sorry, y'all. Anyway, heat gun. There's some heat gun off and on during this video, and I'm essentially doing these paints like you would an antiquing type finish, where you put it on, you let it set for a minute or two, and then you wipe it back off with the damp rag. Well, in this case, I'm using a baby wipe, and it happened to be just a little too wet, so it takes off an awful lot. Just saying. And I think this is polymer clay because it's coming off fairly easily. Anywho, so I've also picked up some of the blue I used, and that one was called Blue Jean. So it's kind of a denim-y color. It's sort of almost has a purpley cast to it, but not really. And I know I'm got it sped up real fast, and it's hard to see. And did I mention the title of this? Oh, well, y'all probably saw that in the name of the video. Disjointed Whispers. Now, there's a poem I've written almost by the time I got finished with the piece. Okay, I wanted this to be an interactive with audio. Typically, interactive pieces are touchy-feely kind of things, and this one I wanted audio to go with it. And the poem rolled over and over and changed 1,050,000 times in my brain before it made it out on paper, and I'm quite satisfied with it. And I've read it and I've heard it because I've recorded it, which you'll hear during the photo montage. So be sure to stick around for the photo montage, because there'll be a poem in that part as well. And it's very interesting, and I thought, wow, I can't believe those words came out of me. So, yeah. And now I'm using some matte gel. This is matte, not glossy, and it truly is matte, and it's by Liquitex. And if you get it too thick, it will almost be cloudy. So just keep that in the back of your mind, okay? No, I didn't end up with that much clouds, but anyway, that netting that I'm putting on there is from Halloween, and I don't know what it's supposed to be, mummy wrapping, or it's certainly not spider webby. But anyway, I pick up weird stuff, and I don't necessarily use them for the manner in which they were intended, which is one of the artists in the book that I reviewed. Link in the upper right hand corner, iCards, and in the description box below this video. And anyway, I thought, yeah, I want to use that because I want to obscure the view, but not obscure the view, but I don't want to obscure the whole thing. I know, it's disjointed. Let me refer you back to the title, Disjointed Whispers, okay? Now, that's a jelly print, and I love it, and I've had it for a while, and when I was going through the papers looking to see which one I wanted to use, this one said, me, use me. You know how projects, do your projects talk to you like that sometimes too? Please say yes. So as you see, you can tell from certain angles that there were magnets. Well, they're still there in this book box type closure thing. Now, in the end, they end up not usable because, you know, I have so much junk piled up on them. Okay? I know it doesn't look like much. And in the end, there's a lot you're not going to be able to see because of the angle and filming issues, and yeah. But I'll show you a pusher. It'll be a pusher before the photo montage in the poem, okay? So now I'm poking a hole through it so I can get my closure in there, which I'm going to use 2 different types of ribbon here. And I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I really have no overall step process. I would just do something, and then it'd have to dry, and I'd go, well, how am I going to follow that up, and what am I going to do next, kind of thing. And, you know, sleepless nights and weirdness like that. I don't know what's up with that. So anyway, so there's going to be my closure, and I use some of my, this is probably just regular gloss gel because I have that on the desk as well. And that's probably what I put on the back of that paper to adhere it down as well, because the matte gel is a smaller container and just a wee bit more costly than the regular gloss gel, just in case you was wondering. So I got that piled up pretty good, because my next step was to put fabric back there, and I'm like, well, that's going to put a bump. I don't want to put a bump back there. Is that obscured? Yeah, I kind of like that. So let's put our button on front, because I'm like, I have no idea how I'm going to close this thing, y'all. Because I want it to be, a closure, because it's going to be interactive, where the people come up and they look at the outside and they're like, yeah, what's up with this, huh? What's all this crap about? And it's going to have I'm going to hang a little label on it that says open here, blah blah blah, and people are going to open it and they're going to go, oh, what's this all about? And I'm going to be standing, I'm going to go, refer back to the title of the piece, y'all, Disjointed Whispers, or excuse me, refer back to the title of the piece, Disjointed Whispers. No, not quite like that, but sort of. And you can't see me, I'm just tying knots, and I'm threading my crochet cotton thread through the little holes I poked with the pokey tool, sewing on the button, putting that button on there. And the crochet cotton thread pretty much is the exact same color as that netting, which is good, because I'm like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to cover up this tie, so I just kind of work it over there and glue it down with the matte gel again, just saying. So yeah. And for the insides of that box, I could not film it because I needed it standing up facing me, so that's the parts you're not going to actually see me gluing any of that stuff inside there. And by gluing, I mean I'm using the gel medium, matte or gloss, one or the other. And what I think I started to tell you, but I didn't finish telling you, was I used 3 different sheens of varnish. Well, 4 if you count the matte medium. Okay, but I used a matte varnish, what truly is matte. I used a satin varnish, which is sort of a semi-gloss, and then I used a high gloss varnish on different pieces because I wanted them to have different sheens to them. Okay, now this is a mold, a zipper mold, and it's from a cake decorating store. I found it at a cake decorating store when Oz Grand Jen was down or up from Australia. Y'all remember that? A couple of 500 years ago, something like that. Anyway, I loved it. I thought, I need this zipper. I didn't know what I needed it for. I liked it, so I got it. Anyway, ta-da! And it's actually been molded, and I've had the zipper sitting in my studio window for some time, so I was kind of trying to make it look a little rusty, and it does look sort of a little rusty, not totally rusty. And I was just saying earlier today to my friend Alice, y'all know Alice, I told her, I said, well, I don't know if I like that pink, it seems so bright. She goes, oh no, I like it because it's like bam, and and I'm like, okay, then it stays. Because, once more, Disjointed Whispers, y'all. So now we're painting the fish, and I pulled in some of the color from the fabric that I'm going to be lining the inside with. Now, as I said a moment ago, but, I'm disjointed this way. Stop talking about it. I was going to put fabric in it, and I'm like, well, how am I going to cover up that bump? So I came up with an idea. I used fun foam. Here it is, fun foam. And I've got a circle that I'm going to cut out because my knot's just going to fit right in here. And I had these leftover pieces because I'm like, let's just make this weird looking on the inside too, because why not? I mean, disjointed is disjointed, y'all. So I stick the fun foam in there. Sorry, headshot. Y'all get to see some of my hair, my beautiful hair. And gonna use the matte or the gel, one of the gels. I don't know which one. Probably the gloss gel. I don't know. And I'm sticking different pieces of the leftover fun foam pieces down there to just add some weirdness back there. It worked. It made it kind of weird, y'all. So now we're putting our gel. Looks like we're using the gloss gel. And that's some fabric I already had ripped down to size, and the thing that I was using is a piece of folder that I cut down to size so I could make sure everything mostly fit in there. And I ended up having to trim one of the sides of my fabric because evidently I mismeasured. I did not use a ruler. No, I didn't. I'm an eyeballer. Y'all know that about me. So here's one of the faces for the inside, and then those are some angel wings or wings, whatever kind of wings you want to call them. And I'm buttering the back of them with my gel, and they're going to be stuck down there. And I like it. It's an interesting piece, y'all. Okay, I would be thrilled if someone bought it. Just saying. Thrilled. My intentions are to exhibit it down at the local art gallery here, and perhaps put it in a show, a juried or judged show. So I've added that acrylic block on top just to help weight it down, adding that jar on top of it because it's a little heavy but not smooshy heavy. And now I'm buttering the back of the zipper, which is going to go on that part of the book box. It opens like a book, so it's sort of a book, sort of a box kind of thing. So I'm just buttering it all up. And that does pull in some of the pink from the paper that I chose to cover the inside front cover. I don't know what to call that thing, y'all. The inside flip out, y'all. Hickin' in places. There, so I set some weight on that and let it set for a while, and I'm going to put the face on here, which this face is done like the face on the outside. And it's interesting, y'all. It's interesting. And yeah, when I was gathering the stuff for it, all I kept thinking was, my God, this is a bunch of disjointed crap. So that's where that part of the title came from, and I'm like, oh, whispers. Whispers. Yeah, I don't know. So these are just some little molded fish. I'll try to insert the promo picture in here too, in case y'all didn't see that part, so that you could see mostly some of the stuff I use. Like I said, the colors have changed and stuff like that. So here's those pictures I was talking about, and get ready for the photo montage right after that, along with the poem. Disjointed whispers. Let the outside in all calm be petted and stroked and wandered about, and let the insides be as they are, dancing and skipping along snapping pathways of the brain. Oh, that rhythm, that brain rhythm, so disjointed without bending, unless its bending whispers into believed things. You know the ones. Yes. Those from childhood and last month and last year, and even just a few overheard moments ago. Those disjointed whispers that causes one to question whether factual or spiteful, or maybe, just maybe, a jealous tongue that kicks around sounds by clicking and clucking and insulting. So off with you, dear echoing brain, off with your trains and squirrels and self-doubt, off to the land of disjointed whispers, where you turn snippets of sounds into quiet symphonies only meant for one that ricochets whispers like an earworm, that is not to be caught by a bird, whether early or late, or swallowed by a fish. And let the outside in all calm be petted and stroked and wandered about, and let the insides be as they are. Thanks so much for watching, and happy arting, y'all!